Hey everyone, Todd here, internalarchitect.com. In this video, I'm going to talk about the downsides of cancer. Now, there are an unlimited different reasons why cancer sucks and why it is such a difficult thing, but I just want to go over 5 things that have been on my mind a little bit lately, and maybe this is just because of going through treatment and whatever. But before I begin, hit subscribe below and hit the bell for notifications so you know when I put out a new video. And at the end of the video, please leave a comment or a question or whatever, so I can kind of get an idea of what you're thinking, and I'll kind of say some stuff at the end of the video also. But yeah, the downsides of cancer, and I wanted to kind of bring it into a little bit more of the root of why I kind of feel this way too. And you know, there's a lot of different parts to it of the really, why cancer is such a pain in the ass. One, it's just the stigma, and the stigma is such, it is just that it's, can't one cancer has that stigma of death, and that's because it is the leading cause of death in the country. And when you that's really kind of the thing about it. But there's more psychological things that go on also that a lot of people aren't talking about, and one of them is just the fear of missing out. And I want to say that because there's just things like, when you are kind of healthy and when you're feeling good, there's social groups and activities that we all like to maybe be involved with, and new friends that we meet, and just kind of how life can kind of I guess continue as you are living in it. And all these things kind of all add up, right? And for me, the fear of missing out is a big one, because I really I enjoy my community. I really enjoy my friends and my family, and it's become knowingly more difficult because there's just things I'm missing out. Like, I talk with my friend Zeke, who goes on bike rides, and he actually gave me a call the other day because he was headed down to Buena Vista to go mountain biking. And he was just, it dawned on me that there's just a lot of these little things I miss, and I miss the calls of people wanting to go do things and stuff like that. And they all just know that I'm in the middle of this fight, but still doesn't mean it doesn't suck. And that's kind of what I mean. It's just a fear of missing out, fear of just not being involved in the normal aspects of your life. Like, yeah, I'm still curious of all the things that are going on at work, even though sometimes I get a little frustrated there, but I still, it's a big part of my life. I've dedicated a lot of time to it, and I'm just curious to know what's going on there. What maybe even what's some of the new gossip, and what are whatever. So just that fear of missing out of stuff that's going on in your normal life is always kind of a little bit of a difficult one. you know Bummed I didn't. The next one that I've it's really kind of hit on me is, you start the year off. I had some goals, some health goals that I really wanted to achieve this year, and cancer's kind of put all those on the back burner. One of them was, I wanted to, my goal was obviously bike riding. I started out the spring just feeling really strong, and then it led to kind of my current situation. But it's the blessing and the curse side of it. Like, the blessing is it can't, I was able to get this caught early, but at the same time, like, I was looking to go under 200 pounds for the first time in a really long time, since I was really competitive snowboarding. And yeah, that was kind of that was a bit of a blow, because that was really a goal, and I've been doing really, really good up until this point. And feeling so strong going into the year, feeling like things were on the right path, to have the setback. So dealing with the setback and moving forward, that's always kind of a tough blow. And I was really motivated this year to try to accomplish that goal. So that's therein lies kind of the conundrum, I guess you could say, is when you're um, just really motivated to do something, and then it takes a little bit of a back seat because of what a situation that you're in, and in this case, cancer kind of put that goal in the back seat. But it's just there's that issue, and I was having a hard time with this for a little bit because I was just doing I was doing so good, and then this creeps in, so I'm learning to take my time and to be cautious with my expectations at this point too, and just to you know honestly kind of bring it all back into trying to live a lot more in the moment, and in this time right now, instead of thinking about my future and the goals, which is still not a bad thing to do, but just to not be living in it so much more. And so that's kind of been one for me also. And then number three for me is um, knowing there's some disheartenment, because knowing of the grind that I'm going through right now, just with treatment. I've 23 rounds of radiation, and I admit that so far radiation has been a little bit easier on me than the chemotherapy, and for that I'm absolutely grateful. But it's 23 sessions over 5 weeks every single day. I'm staying in Denver right now because just I wanted to make sure that the team I'm with is on point with how I'm feeling, and they understand my concerns, and that's why I'm doing this in Denver and not up in the mountains. But that's okay. But there's still a grind aspect to this. Like, I still have to get up every day. I still have to do life and still live, and everything else. So there's that little bit and that element to it too. But it's still a grind. It's a health grind at this point, and it's just like, just you know I hate to say it, but bite the bullet and just work through it each and every time. And it's becoming easier. I'm two-thirds of the way through. Today was number 16, so that's pretty cool. And I have about a week and a half of it left, a week left, something like that. And it's going to be over before I know it, which is great. But it's still, it's the middle of November right now, and it's just winter's coming, and days are short, and just there's a lot of psychological things, seasonal things that are happening, and that contribute to the psychological, seasonal changes that some people go through. I know that I do. So just thinking about that too is kind of one of the pissers of cancer. Just I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of gratefulness and everything else that comes along with it, but these are still things you still think about, and you know yeah, I so the fourth one, so number four, is the fear of the unknown. And it's really easy for me. Like, I'm a huge dreamer, right? And I've been doing a lot of reading, and a lot of just keeping the mind moving, keeping the body moving, and doing things that will help keep me focused in the now, and in the moment. So it kind of goes back to that last one also. But there's still a fear of unknown. I mean, now that I'm going through all this radiation, this increases my odds for having another cancer in the future. It's just like this vicious circle that is continuing on. And I'm learning to be okay with the fact that cancer is just going to be kind of one of those things in my life. And that's where it's a little bit difficult, and that's where it's hard for me to really feel I can't look too far into the future. It's just, I'm changing my expectations, and I'm changing how I look at my goals, because each time that this happens, it increases my odds of getting closer to kind of that inevitable thing that we all go through. And that kind of leads to number 5, is I'm dealing with my mortality again. And that's where a lot of this really is rooted at, and it comes from, because when you're faced with your mortality, you it's a scary situation. It's a scary thing to think about, because it's just, I mean, we all will go through it. It's just, there's things that we want to do. There's people that we say we want to meet, and experiences that we want to enjoy. But there's this little thing that's, now kind of sitting there above our head, kind of chewing in the back of our head, just of our mortality. Like, and I think about all these things all the time, unfortunately. But at the same time, I'm also thinking about the things that are good, doing the things that are good for me now, still continuing to eat as good as I possibly can. um, Thinking about taking it to a whole nother level here real shortly, which I'll probably get into it in another video here coming up, because I'm trying to figure out how extreme health, and diet wise I really want to go, because there's a lot of things. I'm a pretty big person, like, just physically. I'm 6'2", and 200, not 210 right now. So I'm a big person, and if I'm going to go a certain diet way, then I just need to make sure that I can fuel my body for the things I like to do, like biking and split boarding, cross country skiing, and stuff like that. So your mortality, there's a balance, I believe, that needs to happen. I'm not afraid of dying. That's one thing I will just say right now off the bat. But there's it's not so much about me and the selfishness of that. It's more of like everything that happens when I'm gone, like with my family, with the people that I love. And that's the biggest thing that I have an issue with. So yeah, these are the things I'm thinking about. I'm going to put another video out here real soon about the good things that come about from cancer, right? Because the bad things, obviously there's a lot of things, and it's really easy to, like I said, really dwell on those really hard, difficult things that I guess us humans just naturally kind of go at. And that's just being, we kind of go towards the sick and the the shitty side of life, and that's what more and more people are interested in. Hell, take a look at the news. That's all you ever hear about anymore these days, is just the hardships and the bad stories that go on. So yeah, I don't know. If you guys have a question, please hit me in the comment section below. And if you have a comment too, please leave it down there. I'm curious to know what you think. And by all means, please leave something down there of things that might be, frustrating you at the same time. Just to, one, let me know, and two, just to kind of share with the community. So, thank you for watching the video. I hope I haven't gone too far off a tangent, but I just wanted to really think of some things of kind of the root of why we kind of have a hard time with cancer. And yeah, so again, thank you so much for watching the videos. I appreciate your time and energy in watching them, and I will see you on the next one.